Yes, guys, and welcome back to the IrishHotspur. It's your boy David, keeping you up to date with all the latest transfer news surrounding Tottenham Hotspur this summer, and it is already kicking off. We do have some breaking news for you guys out there via Fabrizio Romano. It is an exclusive, and he says Tottenham are now on the verge of reaching an agreement with David Raya on personal terms. Long-term contract almost agreed after positive talks. Raya is open to the Spurs move, but the club-to-club talks will be crucial. 40 million fee asked by Brentford is considered too high by Tottenham. So there is some progress made since yesterday. Considering that yesterday we didn't reach, there was no rumours saying that we had reached personal terms. Tonight there is them rumours, or it's not rumours, Fabrizio Romano has more or less confirmed it. But we're still at the same sticking point, and it seems like we have been here time and time again as Spurs fans, and that is the asking price. It's still very much as the same news that reported last night. Now, on this, Brentford are going to stick to their guns. They are asking 40 million for a player whose agent, Jaume Manel, who represents Football 21 Pro. He made his stance clear on Raya last month. He said, if Brentford do not lower the price tag for Raya this summer, we'll be ready to leave as a free agent in 1 year. So it's also worth mentioning, that Brentford also actually have form with this. So when we went for Ollie Watkins there a few seasons back, we went in around 25 million and they would not lower their asking price to 30 million, 35 million that they set on him. And he ended up joining Aston Villa for 33 million. We ended up losing out on Ollie Watkins. And also to double down on it, Brentford coach Thomas Frank, he's come out and he's spoke about Raya before, and he said, I think we only have one player for sale. That's the one that's been talked about a lot, David Raya. He costs 40 million, I think. We are a selling club. I don't think that's a secret, but they need to be crazy high amounts for the players if we want to have anyone to leave. I'm pretty sure that everyone, including myself, is very happy here at Brentford. So as you can see, Thomas Frank and Brentford, they have made their stance perfectly clear on David Raya that they do not want to drop below that 40 million asking price. However, I do not blame Spurs for not wanting to pay the 40 million. That, for me, I think it's extortionate for a player who's going to be going anyway. I do think Brentford are in a position, especially if this drags on throughout the window, where they will have to accept a bit of a cut price fee, because they've already signed their number one replacement for him, and that was Mark Flecken from Freiburg. So it actually does free up for David Raya to go. And also, the longer this goes on, David Raya could end up refusing to play for them at the start of the Premier League season, which is not good. It disrupts the squad. But Thomas Frank might also, look to not pick him. So for me, it's just going to create havoc further down the line. So I think Spurs are probably trying to play on that. And they are looking to maybe knock about at least 10 million off that asking price. I've seen, some valuations going around saying about 27 million, which seems a bit reasonable. 40 million for me is absolutely extortionate. But look, it's all well and good reaching an agreement with the player, but it's reaching an agreement with the club. That's been historically, especially with Daniel Levy in charge of negotiations, that's been our Achilles heel. So there's still a long way to go on this deal. This is by no means done. Now, look, let's get in and look at a few stats on David Raya, and I'll give you my personal opinion on him as well. His save percentage, the save percentage is 77.7%. Passes attempted, 35.97. Clean sheets, 12 from last season, and crosses stopped, 1.37, as you can see there. Now, my opinion on David Raya is, one thing I really like about him is his ability to spot counterattacks and deliver with the kicks from his hands. It adds a new dimension to Spurs' game. I mean, you could definitely keep the likes of Sonny pushed up high. Tell him to be ready when David Raya gets that ball in his hands, be on the last shoulder. And if you go back and look at a lot of David Raya's highlights and stuff like that, there's an amazing tool out there you can use called Scout. You'll see how accurate, it's laser-like he is kicking from his hands. It's absolutely unbelievable. And, the ability to spot that counterattack and execute it will definitely add a new dimension for Tottenham and make us even more dangerous. And he makes Son, Kane, people like that even more dangerous. So he definitely adds in that department. Another thing, when you look at his stats, He's actually very, very strong in the air. He comes out for a lot of crosses and corners. Again, something that we sort of struggled with last season with Hugo Lloris. Coming towards the end of the season, it was actually getting nearly embarrassing. Teams were just dropping crosses, corners in on our 6-yard box, and we would not. Hugo Lloris was refusing to come out for them. Even Fraser Forster at times, for that matter. So at least David Raya is good, strong in the air, and confident enough to come for them. So that will help us out defensively as well, which is a huge, huge asset. Look, he's also one of the best shot stoppers in the league as well. I think he made the most saves last season, although he did concede the most goals from outside the area, which is maybe slightly concerning. But again, he's made the most saves out of anyone last season, so he's technically the best shot stopper in the league. One thing I have a bit of a slight concern on about him when I've gone and done a lot of digging into him, for me, playing out from the back, he's not comfortable. There are erratic moments in there, a bit similar to Hugo Lloris, especially the short-term pass with the ball at his feet. Very, very erratic at times. That, for me, is a bit of a air of caution on that one. You know, a lot of people say he's got great distribution, this, that, and the other. From the hands, yes. But with the ball at his feet, he's actually a bit rocky. And that does create nervousness around him. So that is maybe one thing to look for. But all in all, overall, I think, we're getting a very, very solid goalkeeper. And it does look like we are making progress on our number one choice, which is absolutely huge. And maybe the fact that he's not so great with the ball at his feet, maybe that is also what has maybe made Man United change targets and go for that Costa kid, because they've probably looked at David Raya with his ability with the ball at his feet, and is he that much of an improvement on David De Gea in that regard? Maybe they decided, that all the other qualities that David De Gea possesses, that maybe, Raya doesn't have, and on this one, is he much better? So that's probably why maybe they've warned off, and that's why we're in pole position for David Raya. And also, last thing on David Raya, he does count as a homegrown player as well, as he did come through the academy system at Blackburn, so he will not have to take up one of the very rare foreign spots in our squad that seems to be like gold dust at this moment in time. So that is a huge plus. We have asked for us to upgrade, especially on the homegrown players, because we've had to keep a lot round here over the last few years who have not been good enough and end up playing, and then we wonder why we see what we've seen over the last 3, 4, 5 years unfold. So for me, it's good to see us finally upgrading on the homegrown players. Now, from one homegrown player to another, we'll also have a quick word on James Maddison, as there's conflicting reports out there today. You have Scott Wilson of the Echo. He says he understood to have open preliminary Tottenham are understood to have open preliminary negotiations with the Leicester board over a deal for James Maddison. And in the article, he basically says Maddison is Newcastle's only target from Leicester that they want. But the major complication is the competing interest of Tottenham, whose new boss, Ange Postecoglou, regards Maddison as a key potential addition. So Spurs hierarchy are keen to support Postecoglou, who left Celtic to take over Spurs, and are understood to have open preliminary negotiations with the Leicester board. But then a few minutes later, Sky Sports come out with a different take on it altogether. And they say Newcastle are currently leading Tottenham in the race to sign James Maddison. They say Leicester are willing to listen to offers for Maddison following relegation, and that Newcastle and Tottenham are interested. Newcastle are currently leading Tottenham in the race to sign Leicester's James Maddison, who has 1 year left on his contract. Newcastle hold interest in Maddison since they tried to sign him last January. However, Tottenham may formalise their interest following the appointment of Ange Postecoglou as head coach. Now, and they also say Newcastle can offer Champions League football, but Postecoglou and Spurs are now in the process of making decisions on how to improve the squad this summer and which players will stay or leave to facilitate the desired change. So interesting, conflicting reports on that. Now, for me, my thoughts on the whole James Maddison saga is if Ange Postecoglou is a keen admirer and he is key to him for him to implement his style of play, then then Tottenham just need to get serious. Act like the big boys. Come in, drop the 50 million, make Maddison feel like he's number one as well, and get it done before you even give Newcastle a chance to put in a bid and get, personal terms underway. A few things to consider, when it comes to Tottenham and Newcastle and what can be offered. Tottenham can offer him an exciting new project, but it is a relative unknown how that's going to pan out. But it is rumoured that Maddison and his girlfriend, they do want to relocate to London. That we can definitely offer. But sometimes that London lifestyle, it's very easy to get caught up in, especially if it's really, really desired. And of course, we can offer European football. Newcastle, they can offer him European football, and they're a much more stable project for him to join. Now, on that, there's also the added pressure of what is best for his England career, because he is looking to get into Gareth Southgate's World Cup for the Euros in Germany next summer. Now, there's two ways you look at this. Does he choose to join Tottenham and strike up a partnership with Harry Kane and show Gareth he is the missing piece that he needs for England? Someone who can provide Kane with chances in abundance and hope that Harry Kane can carry him into the England squad? Or does he choose Newcastle and look to strut his stuff on the European stage and show that he can perform against the best of them and hope to get selected that way? Because he is on the verge of the England squad. He is just outside it. And that next move he has to make is absolutely crucial. And for me, look, this will be an early test to see if not being in Europe and not having European football to offer a player will come back to bite us in the ass. This will definitely tell us this. And could this also be the first casualty and consequence of us taking so long to get a manager in here and our director of football? Has it, the fact that it's delayed us conducting our transfer business, could this also be another consequence of that? Let us know your thoughts in the comment on that situation. But look, guys, that's it for Tottenham Transfer Daily. Make sure you guys do smash that like. Also, feel free to get in a super thanks with your thoughts. It's a great way to help support the channel. But most importantly, guys, get your comments in, engage with me. I want to know your thoughts on David Raya. Are you worried that it's come down to price yet again because Tottenham have been here so many times before? And also, let me know what you think James Maddison should do, because he is at a pivotal point in his career. Is it worth him coming here to Tottenham Hotspur? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, that's it from me. Go and enjoy your evening. I'm off to enjoy mine and spend a bit of time with the missus. It's a great cracking evening out there, so go and have a good one. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Postecoglou, we trust.